guess I should enter the studio. I guess I should enter the studio if I want to be live. Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon, good people. Good afternoon, good people. How we doing? How are we doing? How are we doing? Good afternoon. Come on in. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. So that way we can talk a little bit about what are we doing looking at our trades from the other day. Okay, so our plan is to today's call. We're going to, that should be a C. I think I hit the enter button. Neither of those is accurate because who knows what that, oh, put the user in timeout. Today's call, that should be a C. Why am I hitting the X? Okay. Do we let me do? Oh, we're going to talk about trades from Sunday, our Sunday night call. We're going to talk about those. We're going to, let me put a little star next to this. Then we're going to enter an XSP or SPX trade. And then we're going to discuss, oh, what are you doing? Then we're going to discuss the challenge, credit, oh, let me spell it right, credit spreads challenge. That's the things we're doing today. Hey, everybody. If you're on here, say hey to me. Let me know that you're here and tell me who you are. And if you need to give StreamYard permission to see you or for me to see your name, let me know. Adrian, is my E2T backwards? Is E2T up in this corner here? This corner here? Here? Is it backwards? Is the E2T flipped backwards? If so, let me know so I can fix it. Let me know. Oh, it's not backwards. Okay, thank you, Cheryl. It's not backwards. Hey, Tamar. Hey, Cheryl. Hey, Adrian. How y'all doing? No, it's not backwards. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. I did a whole call one time and it was backwards and nobody said nothing. And then somebody watched the call after we were done and said, "Do you know that your symbol was backwards?" I was like, "And ain't nobody said nothing. What's up with that? Nobody said a thing. Don't know why nobody said it's backwards. It's backwards." Okay. I'm on. Let everybody know that I'm on live in living color. I'm on live. Okay. Let's look at our trades from this week because we had trades that we talked about on Sunday. I want to share my screen. Yes, I do. I got me a device coming that's going to allow me to push a button and I'm going to be able to see my screen. I'm going to be able to change screens like boom, boom. I'm going to be able to push a button. I bought it on Cyber Monday, so I'm excited about that. Got me a thing. I'm going to be able to push the button. It's going to change from sharing to just me to yada yada. I'm going to be yeah, buddy. I told Jamie ain't going to be able to tell me nothing. You tell me nothing. Okay, so I'm only going to talk about the credit spreads and stuff, the trades that we looked at on the credit spreads. And I'm actually going to talk about TZA code. I don't know if we talked about Exxon the other day, but we can look at it to see if the trade is still going good. And Google, based on what I've checked, I didn't check TZA and I didn't check Exxon, but the other ones are still going well. And then we're going to look at the put credit spreads. We're going to look at the ones over here, not TNA. And actually, even though BOIL is 39.40, when I entered, because I did this trade, when I entered the put credit spread on BOIL, I entered at like 34.35. And that's probably because I didn't enter it until Tuesday. I entered these trades and put credit spreads or credit spreads altogether. You don't have to enter them on, bright and early Monday morning. You can let time pass because theta decay or time decay, expiration decay is our friend. Es mi amigo. Yes. Theta decay es mi amiga. It's our friend. So we don't have to rush into seller trades. You can enter Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, even Friday if you want. Friday gives you would make it like a 0 DTE, and you'd have to watch your day trades. And of course, if you get into Thursday for a Friday expiration, you can't have a high expectation for premiums because you're really close to expiration. So that's the trade-off, really, is you want to enter in enough time to get premiums you're okay with, but then close enough for you to not stay in the trade longer than you want to stay. Put credit spreads, though, we looked at Boyle, SQQQ, Siri, Riot, and Palantir. I looked at these, and these are all in good shape. We can check CleanSpark as well. I think the reason we didn't do CleanSpark is because it's a monthly expiration, and for the most part, we stick with weekly expirations. All right. With these cash secure puts, if you like these cash secure puts, you can turn them into put credit spreads. All you got to do is buy a leg underneath it. So like for Upstart, if, for example, you like 21 as the strike, you could buy, sell the 21 leg and then buy a 20 or buy a 19 leg, and that makes it into a spread. You can always turn a cash secure put into a put credit spread by buying a leg behind it. It means you're going to take in less premiums, but you can be in the trade that you like without putting as much collateral up. All right. So let's take a look here at the ones we were looking at. We can look at the chart, or we can just look at the option chain. Either way, I'm going to say if we can put it. I'm not sure if it'll let me like do part screen. Let's see if it'll let, if I have two things on the screen, if it will show them both. I hope so. Because what we're looking at here is to see what is the price. What are the prices, right? So we're looking at TQQQ. Call credit spread means we want TQQQ to be less than 46. So let's go TQQQ. TQQQ, we want it less than 46, and it is currently at 44.50. So this trade of TQQQ at 46.47 at this point is still a good trade. And it may, depending on where we are, today's Wednesday, today or tomorrow, you may be able to close it. I generally close credit spreads. I keep wanting to say one or the other. I generally close my credit spreads at 70 to 80% profit. 70 to 80% profit. And the way you know what the profit is, I don't know if I've got any trades here or if they've all been closed. Yeah, they're all closed. But when what you do is when you're looking at the money, when you're looking under the monitor screen, you would have your trades here. When you're looking at the money, it will tell you what percentage you are as far as your profits go. It will tell you that. All right. Because I don't have anything here to look at. This is my paper account. And I used to have a whole bunch of stuff in here and I took them out. I need to start putting them back in here so that way when I come back on Wednesday, we can look at them on Wednesday. I can put them in on with the day I entered it. I entered it in my live account. I have TQQQ and SQQQ, and actually TQQQ is set to close. It is like at it's like $2 or $3, and I'm buying it back for $2. So it's ready to close, just ready. Let's look at Cold. Cold is the natural gas. Remember, we talked about the natural gas ETF. This one, Cold and Boyle, are inverses of one another. Cold and Boyle are inverses. We're saying we were looking for Cold to be below 76, and looks like it is now at 80. It must have just jumped because I just looked at this and it wasn't there. It must have jumped a lot. So the Cold, why did I look? I looked at that earlier and it was fine. Anyway, Cold, this trade here is not where it needs to be right now. I believe I end up doing, I think I did the put credit spread on Cold. I did a put credit spread. I was talking to another person who does selling puts and cash secure puts and selling put credit spreads. And what he said he does is he does the inverse of, he takes these inverses. I'm going to stop sharing so you can see my face. He takes the inverses and he sells both of them as put credit spreads. Actually, he sells them as puts. He just does cash secure puts. He does. So I did, the thought process was that you would do, instead of doing one as a call credit spread, one as a put credit spread, but do them both as a put credit spread, basically get underneath them both. And even if there's a difference where they're kind of moving towards you, on the one that is the inverse, you get, far enough away, or whichever, far enough away that you are still above, you're still picking a strike below what would be support. So you do both of the inverses. You do the inverse stocks like cold and boil. Cold and boil, they're natural gas and they're inverses. So you do inverse stocks like cold and boil with both. I'm saying put credit spreads, because when you do them as selling cash secure puts, that's going to take a lot more collateral. But if you do them both as put credit spreads, you only have the width of the spread, which in this case is going to be a 1. It's a 1 spread. I feel like this screen is very dark. Am I very dark looking? Anyway, I'm sitting in a room with the classroom lights. I'm at my college, so I'm sitting in the classroom. I just finished teaching systems of equations and logarithms. Teaching logarithms the other day, the students was taking up, they were using my anointing because logarithms are hard for them, and I'm not super fond of teaching them, so I was having to stay dialed in, and it was a rough ride for all of us. But we made it. They learned some stuff and I remembered some stuff and we made it go. Yes. Hey, Miss Barbara. Hey, Deborah. How y'all doing? Adrian, you're asking me, what is it called? What is what called? I don't remember what I said at 2:04, but if you want to ask me what is it called, I don't know. So we looked at cold, we looked at boil, right? I'm going back to here and I'm going to present again. Okay, let's go back to, we looked at cold, we looked at boil, we want to look at Google. Let's look at Google. Google is what we did the other day. We looked at it anyway, as far as entering the trade. And our graphic here says we wanted Google to be below 141, this trade, 141, 142. This is a 1 spread, below 141, 142. I didn't do the Google trade. I should have. I think I was doing these inverses and was focused on that and forgot about Google. But the Google below 141, if we look at, let's make this chart a little bit bigger. When you're doing call credit spreads, you want to be below your resistance, below resistance. And when we were looking, Sunday would have been a couple days ago, resistance would have been right here at 140, which is why the 140, 141 strike would have been fine, because you want to be beyond, we have 40 at or beyond that strike, and 140, 141, or did we pick 141, 142? Yeah, 141, 142, which the resistance was at 140. So we picked a strike beyond that. Oh, come on. Doesn't want to work. I'm picking the wrong line. There we go. That's why it's not moving. I'm picking the wrong thing. This resistance line is at 140. So we picked a strike 141, 142, which is beyond that. And at this point, that trade is still going well. Okay. That trade is still going well. That's the call credit spreads we were looking at from the other day. Let's look at SQQQ. SQQQ, we wanted that one to be, I have them written up there, 14.15. We wanted to have the strike, the price of SQQQ needed to be above 15. At this point, it is 15.73. So it is still going good. It's a little closer than some people are comfortable with. It's Wednesday. Anytime the price is getting too close to you and you're getting uncomfortable with that, you can do one or two things. Actually, three things. You can close the trade. You can buy back and close the trade. You can let it go and just watch. Remember, the trade is good till Friday. If you were doing it by the week, or if you were doing 12.15, if you were doing whatever your expiration was. I like them by the weekly and 2 weekly, 2 weekly. I like them by the week, and maybe 2 weeks I'll go out. And if it's too uncomfortable for you, you can enter a trade lower, pick a lower strike, and you can also roll it. You can also roll trades. You can roll them to a different strike price, a different date. You can actually move them around. If you're going to roll, you really should roll for a credit, and just know that when you're rolling, you're actually closing your current trade and opening a new one. So anytime you're rolling, you really are closing this trade and opening another trade. So if you roll on the same day you enter, that's going to cost you a day trade, because you're actually closing it and then opening another one. All right, just know. All right, Riot 1112. I can't see y'all's questions, but if you got some, please put them in the chat, because I'll be back over there in a second. Riot was 1112, which means we want the price of Riot to be above 12. And it is right now. Riot is in the crypto space, and crypto, Riot, Mara, those guys are enjoying some nice little movement here, steady, because of all that's going on in the crypto world right now. Palantir needed to be above 18. 17, 18 is our put credit spread, and it is above 18. It's almost to 20 right now. Palantir is doing well. It's in the data space, the data and the AI space. I believe Palantir is in those areas. All right. That lets you know what we've done. Oh, the thing for switching screens, it's called I think it's called a micro switch by Stream Deck. The name of the company is Stream Deck. I can find the link and put it in the chat if you want, in case you're looking for one for yourself. But it's a Stream Deck, and you can pick, you can buy the one that has like 6 buttons, or the one that have, I think, 12 buttons. I think I got the 12 button. And that way you can add music in there and sound effects, or you can have it switch between screens. And I'm like, ooh, yes. I'm excited. I think it's called Stream Deck. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. All right. So we've talked about the trades that we looked at on Sunday. The reason I swing back to those in the middle of the week is I want you to see what has the market done during the week after we looked at stuff on Sunday. So that way, I can encourage you to investigate the things that we talk about on the weekend, and maybe look at doing those for trades. All right. Think about doing those for trades. I said I was going to do this last, but let's go ahead and do it now. First, I want you to, if you're hanging out with me on YouTube, please go ahead, like and subscribe, and hit the notification bell. If you're with me on Facebook, please go over to YouTube and subscribe. That way we can, grow the channel. We can continue to hang out. And I know people are watching. It's not just me. I'm not just me and my crew, but I see 12 people are here, which is good to know that there are some people listening to me at my 2 o'clock live. Okay, let's talk about the Christmas credit spreads challenge. We're doing the Christmas credit spreads challenge. If you haven't signed up yet, please go and sign up if you're interested in hanging out with us for the challenge. Our challenge is we're going to pick a credit spread. We're picking a stock, either a 1 spread or a 50-cent spread stock, and we're going to trade it for week to week to week. You can pick different ones for different weeks, but we're only doing 1 spread for that week, right? You can open and close if you like. And the reason I don't want us to be like, how much money can you make in a week? That's not the kind of challenge I'm doing. What I'm doing for the challenge is I want to help whoever's interested to be able to utilize credit spreads, and then be able to understand it and scale it up. Because once you understand the steps and whatever for doing credit spreads, it's a great way to grow. Credit spreads is a great way to grow a small account. Credit spreads is a great way to grow a small account, trade some stocks that you may not trade otherwise. You're trading as a seller. You're collecting money on the front side. It's also going to give you an opportunity to learn how to do some charting for support and resistance. Those things are going to be there. So that's why we're going with the credit spreads challenge. If you want to sign up for the credit spreads challenge, please go to, you can either go to educatortotrader.com and you can sign up, or you can do the tinyurl.com/E2T challenge and sign up. We're going to have a call this evening where we're going to talk more about the specifics of what our challenge for the month is going to include. It don't cost nothing. The challenge is free to free. It is free. It is gratis, which is free. It don't cost nothing. I'm not even selling you anything. Because the things you can watch the videos. I've got some videos on my channel that will show you the stuff we're talking about. If you really do want to do credit spreads in a more strategic step-by-step way, I do have a course for that, a training. You don't necessarily have to get it, but if that's your mode of learning, like it is mine, for me, I don't want us to jump around. Sometimes that's good. Well, you can learn it, just go. No, I don't want to jump around. I want us to I want to go 1, 2, 3. Now I might go through 1, 2, 3 quickly, but I want to do things in order. That's just me. And I know I'm not the only one who's like that. If you want things in order and you don't feel like you don't want to feel like you're missing something, then you might want to consider getting the credit spreads training from my website, Educator to Trader, but it's not necessary. All right. It's not necessarily something you got to get. Sign up, tinyurl.com/E2T challenge, or go to educatortotrader.com and you can grab it there. Right? There's some steps when you're doing credit spreads. There's some steps there. You're going to identify the stocks. We're going to chart them. If you don't know about charting, I'm talking about that. Probably going to mention that this evening. Most likely, most certainly we'll talk about how do you chart for credit spreads, right? How do you chart for credit spreads? What are you looking for on your chart for credit spreads? Then you're going to look at, we're going to use delta, probability out of the money, and or the plus minus number to determine our strikes. Select your strikes, enter when the price is moving kind of towards your strike or it bounces off it, and then collect your premiums. That's pretty much the steps to credit spreads. But even though I've reduced it down to 5 simple steps, of course, there's a little bit more to it. Each step has, things you're looking for. You're not, if you're looking to chart, we're charting and looking for what? Look at the delta. Look at it for which one. Do you want a delta of 50 or a delta of 30 or a delta of 10? I mean, these are the things you talk about, right? Picking your strikes when your price is moving towards you or bounced off of it, and then collect your premiums. What's a good premium? What's a good day to enter? These are the kind of things that we'll talk about. Go ahead and go to, I don't know if this is going to let me. It's probably going to kick it back. E2T. Facebook is kind of funny about its links these days. Facebook might kick that one back, but I'm also going to put, Facebook didn't like it. It probably showed up on YouTube, but I'm also going to say you can go to educatortotrader.mv. This one will go app. educatortotrader.mvsite.app. That you can go to that site and sign up for the credit spread challenge. Come join us. Again, it's free. I'm going to have a Telegram group where we're going to do all of our communication in the Telegram group. We'll get together a few times going. It's just going to be a fun time. It's something I'm doing at the end of the year. Hey, Anand, something we're doing at the end of the year, just to get us into the rhythm of credit spreads. And as you get better, if you're already good with credit spreads, you don't have to worry about this. But if you are going to grow into credit spreads, then this sets you up for our XSP or SPX daily money. Like for this challenge, we're talking about weekly money, but we can go to daily money as you get better with your credit spreads. Okay. All righty. Last but not least, if anybody's got any questions, please be sure to, that's running already at the bottom. The credit spreads challenge was already running. This is good. I'm going to put here also at the bottom, if you want, looking for your free resources. There's some of those that are there. Free 99. I got some resources that'll probably help you there. If you want to learn options but don't know where to start, there's a link there. What trading strategy is perfect for you? That is there. How do you make 10% every single day on 0 DTE, which is the same day expirations? There's that. What do traders, 7 mistakes traders make that keep them from 7 figures? That's something you can get. And SPX hacks. How do you trade SPX? Use the SPX hacks. Check in on those things. All free resources, gratis. The resources are gratis. Let's go and talk about entering a trade now. Going to look at XSP for the rest of the day. This was a 0 DTE. I don't know if XSP has been moving a whole lot. No, it's been kind of sitting still today. 456.50 is about where it's been almost all day. But let's go take a look and see what we can do. Look for breakout, intercall, credit spread, Okay, this is all true. Let's move it out of the way though. Boom, boom, boom. When you're looking for the breakout, you're definitely looking for that earlier in the day. And if you don't, if you're interested in trading SPX and XSP on a daily basis, we do have, I do have a playbook that tells you the whole strategy, the whole steps. You can find that at spxplaybook.net. For $27, you can get the whole strategy that we use every single day to make money. And that's no cap. I'm not saying, anybody who's watched me long enough, that I'm not one who'll come on here going, we made $3,000 today when we only made 200. If we made 200, I'm telling you, we made 200, because 200 today, 200 tomorrow, 200 the next day, them mugs add up, right? So, if we do make 2,000, I say that. If we make 200, I say that. I'm not on here trying to gas it up. It's what it is. It's what it is. Because even if nobody on here knows or believes, I need the Lord to know I'm I'm trying to live a life that takes me to heaven. I'm trying to go to heaven at the end of this, and lying along the way is not the way to get there. That's not my plan. My plan is not to end up when all this is over and the Lord's like, you remember them times when you was coaching and you kept lying about the money y'all was making? No, that's not gonna be me. I don't think there's things he'll keep me out for, but I'm gonna do the right thing. I'm gonna try to do the right thing as best I can. As best I can do the right thing. I'm interested in honesty and integrity. Okay, so this is today. I'm looking at XSP. XSP is the mini of SPX. It's the mini of SPX. What I did was I put on a resistance number for the day. The high of the day is at 458.50. And the low of the day is at 455.62. Now there's some wick here, there's some wick up there. I usually go with the box, right? So I'm charting support and resistance. We probably can go in here and find some more support and resistances. Like there, 457.15 is another one. That's a pretty good rejection there. And there's a whole bunch of people who was hanging out in here who's stopping right along 456.41. So if I was bringing it, that's actually where price is right now. If I was bringing it down into some support areas, it probably would be in these two areas, right? Some support. There's probably another resistance in here. I'm only using these to just let me know where was places that price went and rejected. That's what I'm using these for, just as some zones and some levels, right? So then we go look. We take this XSP, we go look and see, okay, based on what we're seeing, maybe 455 is the bottom and 458 is the top. We're pretty far from 458, and at 2:30 in the afternoon, there may or may not be premiums. There we go, XSP. We're looking for today. I'm gonna put it on the single chart, and we can look for, today has been a red day. If we look at the daily candle, it's been red today. Today's candle, I don't think I have trading view. Oh yes, I do. If we look at XSP for the day on the daily chart, see, we got a red candle going right here. It's a red candle. So it's been more down than up, but this is very doji-ish. If you all watched my How to Read Stock Charts webinar, and if you didn't watch the How to Read Stock Charts webinar, you should go do that. It's at Start With The Chart. I'm going to bring it up here. Startwiththechart.com. You should go. It's a free webinar. You can go and look at how do you read stock charts. Part of this included in how to read stock charts is working with or looking at candles. How do you read candle patterns, right? This is startwiththechart.com is how you get to where I am. Startwiththechart.com. This is a free webinar. You just put your information in here and then it talks about it. But in here, in the Start With The Chart, I talk about candles and what candles mean what are the candles. So this one here would be called a low doji, which basically means there's indecision. It's not clear. We're not necessarily going up. We're not necessarily going down. We're kind of hanging in the middle, right? So, but since it's a little more red than green, we may consider a call credit spread from the top, maybe above here. And if you want, you can get outside of this and maybe do a put credit spread. So 455 and then maybe 459, depending on what you have for strike, for premiums, because we're not trading just to trade, we're trading for money. 455 has a probability out of the money of 90%, which means there's a 90% chance that the price won't get down here at expiration, which is pretty high odds. But when you get high odds, you also get low premiums. I wouldn't necessarily go up to the next one because this is a 60% chance. That means there's a 60% chance it will be at 456. That's a little more uncomfortable for people. I'm people. I'm people. That's more uncomfortable than I want to be. Because the regular price, current price is 456.21. So it's pretty close to it right now. We talked about 458 being the upper price. It's a 96% chance that it's going to get there. It's an 82% chance it's going to get to 457 though. Well, I don't mind 457. 80% chance, that's a pretty good odds. So if we're looking now, let's look 457, 458. We're going to change our single to vertical. 457, 458. Now, when you click on, we're in the bid column because we're sellers, you're going to receive $6 for this and you're going to leverage the other $94. These aren't great premiums. And this is not great premium from the standpoint of you're going to pay $1 and some change for fees. So if you're paying $1, you're going to collect $5 while you leverage 95, or you're going to, risk, if you want to put it that, leverage or risk the other $95 if the price just goes on through 457. It's an 83% chance it won't go past there. But you can see, are these good odds? Or is this good money? This is a good bet or trade. I don't like to say bet. So $6. If you want, multiple of $6, you can do multiple contracts. But if you're leveraging $94 here, then you do another one, you're leveraging $188 and you continue to multiply. All right. I'm going to go through the process of the trade just so we can see, but I would much rather have better premiums. And what you can do, if you want better premiums, you can always adjust the price here. You can adjust the price. Now, it's not going to pick up at this price unless it's worth this price, right? Just because you put 10 in here doesn't mean it's automatically going to be for 10. If it's worth 10, you'll get it for 10. If it's not worth 10, then you won't. Sometimes I adjust it by $1 or something just so I can see maybe a little bit more. That'll pay for the fees I was just talking about. I do that. 457, 458. Is it going back up here? Not really sure. Then I put confirm and send, and then we see what happens. All right. We also talked about 454 and 455. But that, as you see, if you click that, there's only paying $2. No, worth it. Now, what we do though is we do a call credit spread and a put credit spread together, so that way you're combining the premiums. But the $2 with that other $6, that gives us $8. Not necessarily. I try to get at least 10%. So if I'm leveraging $100, I'd like to get at least 10 back for that. And a good time to do XSP is a little earlier in the day, especially on a day like today when prices kind of just sitting still, right? I'm a little leery about the 455, 456. If somebody is more, a little more adventurous, right? Says there's a 56% chance that trade is going to be good. I'm in my sim, so I may go with it just because we're in a sim, but This one is paying $22. $22 for the, so $20 when you're leveraging $80. You know, we're going to select it. I wouldn't usually get this close in my live account because 56% chance of it getting here, that's like 50-50. I don't really like that. Don't like that as much. Let's go to SPX. Let's look at SPX. Now, SPX is a 5 spread. XSP was a 1 spread, so you're only leveraging $100. But SPX is 5 spread. And how I get that is that there's 5 between these two numbers, $44.95 and $4,500 is 5. There's $5 between these two, $5, $5. Okay, that's a 5 spread. Let's look at our chart and see what our chart says is some support and resistance areas that may be safe. 2:30, we've got another hour and a half to ride and for the rest of the market today. SPX can be volatile though, because this is the big daddy. This is S&P 500, right? So I've got 45.85 as the upper and 45.56, but then this big old candle here's trying to come and challenge it. So maybe we look at 45.67. Remember, this is a red candle today. We got a red candle today. Let's go look at it on the daily chart so I can show you what I mean. I can show you what I'm talking about. On the daily chart, the daily candle for today, it's going to look like that doji that we saw over on XSP, but it's a little bit bigger. Notice here, this is today's candle. This is today's candle. All right, so it's red, which means it might be safer to do a call credit spread versus a put credit spread, but you want to look at your numbers. Sometimes you can do both. Iron condor means you're using one set of capital and getting money from both sides. Getting money from both sides. Let's look at the call credit spread side first. So what did we say? 45.85. That's probably not much money up there. The probability out of the money is 98. We can get at 45.65. There's a 79% chance the price will get up here. 79% chance. Those are better odds, right? 79% chance it won't, 79% chance it won't get up here. 45, 65, 70. And if I'm mentioning these numbers and you're like, where you come with these numbers? You got to join, you need to join the Credit Spreads Challenge so you can make sure that you have a good understanding of how I call out numbers. 45.65 is the sell leg. 45.70 would be the buy leg. And for this trade, you select this, you're going to make $65 is what you're going to collect in premiums, but you're going to leverage $435 because that's the difference between those two. And it's a 5 spread. So 500 minus $60 is $440 of collateral the broker is going to hold on to. And you're looking for the trade to end below the price to end below 45.65. You're looking for the price to close below 45.65, which is about, what's that, 8 away? Not a long way away, but let's go look at something. I'm going to look at something else. If you look here, this plus minus number over to the right, it's basically what the broker feels like is the implied volatility and how much the broker says it's probably going to move somewhere between plus 7.6 and minus 7.6. So you can add that to 45.56 and you can subtract it. If you add 7.6 to this, you're at 45.64, right? You're right on the edge. Right on the edge. Let's look at what may be underneath. As a single, looking at the probability out of the money. See, if price is already coming down, I would want a little more room. 90% chance that it won't get down to 45.45. 90% chance it won't get down to 45.45. That's about 11 away if you subtract here. It's about 11. The broker says he believes it's going to move about 7. 45.45. Let's switch this over to vertical. 45.45 is our sell leg. 45.40 is our buy leg. On the put credit spread side, we're bid. I'm going to pick this one. We're collecting $25 for this trade. Now, we're collecting $25 on the put side and $60 on the call side. So together we've collected, actually we got $30. Together we've collected $90 putting these trades together, you've taken in $90 today, and this trade ends today. It's a 0 DTE. You're leveraged, you have used collateral of the remainder, which is 410. So you're looking for the price to close somewhere between 45.45 and 45.65. I'm gonna go put it on the chart to show you what we did with our trade for today. We're expecting price to close between 45.45 and 45.65, right? Let me change this into some text. Nope, I need text. There we go. We're looking for price to close. Let me see. 45. Wait a minute. Come back. 45.45 put. So we're looking for above 45.45, right? Which is down in this area. And we're looking for it to be, did we pick what, 45.65? Below 45.65, I think we went with. We're looking for price to close in between these two places. Okay. Now, you can always pick further away. You can say, well, I believe 45.65 is closer than I want to be. We could have picked 45.70, which according to this, 45.70 might have been a better move because this is all resistance. 45.70, having it close out here probably would have been a better thing. I went with the probability out of the money and plus minus number. You should also incorporate the chart. 45.70 looks like it probably would have been a better pick, but we're going to see how it goes because we've got enough resistance here that would turn it around if we were up a little higher, right? So what we've done, let's go back and monitor what we have as far as trades. We've got a 45, 40, 45 in the puts trade, put credit spread, and we've got 65, 70 call credit spread. We've collected, if we're looking at our field orders, we collected $90 from SPX and we collected $21 from XSP, believing it's going to stay above 456. Okay. Let me stop sharing. Who's got questions? Oh, I see some comments. Premiums today are weak, and that's because price is not moving. When price is moving a little more, then you get better premiums. When price is kind of sitting in a zone, there's no volatility to increase our premiums. Okay. Earlier this morning, they would have been nice, but listen, if you're earlier in the morning, what you're doing is you're opening yourself up to SPX all day. But if you're picking strikes that are safer and further distances away, that's how you in the morning you can get further away. But what you don't know in the morning is whether price is going to push in that same direction all day long. So I think around 10:15, 10:30, 11 o'clock, those are really good times to start looking definitely for XSP. And that's probably better for them. SPX, I lean towards waiting a little bit longer because SPX can just be so volatile that you want to give it a little more time. Janae said, so the iron condor, you wanted to close in between. Yes, ma'am. You wanted to close below the call credit spread and above the put credit spread. So in between these two. That's a good question. You do want iron condors. And iron condors is a way to, utilize your collateral to make more money because you don't, you're using the same collateral for both sides. The broker's not blocking off the collateral on both sides. It's only on one side. Yeah, buying early in the morning is a teeth biter for sure. Yes, ma'am, because it all comes down to 4 o'clock. And if you start at 10 and 11, that's 5 and 6 hours of subjecting yourself to SPX's whims. And anything can happen as a whim of SPX. Some meeting happens, price goes nuts. You're like, what in the world? What in the world? What are you doing? So that's why it's important too that you look at what kind of meetings and stuff are coming throughout the day, right? Every morning, my community does a morning call. Our membership, I have a membership. You already know that. And our membership gets together every morning on a phone call. And we talk about what meetings are coming up today, what kind of landmines, as Jamie calls them, do we need to contend with. We have coaching and such. We're actually doing our coaching call is this coming Saturday. And we're doing our coaching. Let me see, start with the chart. We're doing our coaching this weekend, and we're going to talk about setting our goals for next year. We're casting some vision this weekend, getting into our challenge. We're going to spend some time talking about how our challenge is going to do, and we're casting vision for next year. But we meet twice. SPXplaybook.net is where the playbook is for $27. We meet twice a month to do coaching. We have our call every Wednesday. We have a call where we do other teaching and learning. And then we meet every morning with our morning pre-market calls. And then we talk together in our Telegram all day long. So you've got somebody to support you while you're trading. Because trading can be lonely. It's a lonely road. Trading is a lonely road. All righty. Well, I've done as the Lord has commanded, and yet there's room. We covered the trades from the weekend. I went over XSP and SPX, a trade. We went in and got into a trade if we were interested in that. And I talked about our credit spreads challenge. If you did not join up for the challenge, please do so. We have a call this evening. Once if you go ahead and sign up, then you should get an email that'll give you the link to come to this evening's call where we'll talk a bit more about what our credit spreads challenge is and the pieces that go along with how do we start learning credit spreads. If you don't already know, if you already know credit spreads, you still should come join us because most of us are looking at one or two things, but I'm going to show you how to use a $1 spread or a 50-cent spread in order to grow your small accounts or grow your whatever size account to grow them into more and then get you ready to scale up. We're going to do that for this month. All right. Okay. I believe I've done everything I said I was going to do today. I'm so glad that you all chose to spend your time with me. I truly do appreciate, and I do not take that for granted. Believe me, you could be letting YouTube play anything. It don't have to be me. But I appreciate you for letting me spend some time with you. But we want to do two things all the time. Boom, 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 boom. We want to stay green. Oop, can't see me. We want to stay green, and we want to get this money. All right, y'all. I will see you all later. Find me in all the places. Follow me in all the places. Come hang out. Send me a message if you need to. All righty. We'll talk to you later. Definitely trust the strategy. Definitely. Thank you, Tamar, for that. She says, but I trust the strategy. I appreciate that. Tomorrow morning we'll be big on data. Lots of consumer data coming out. Yes. And then I think Friday, Powell is speaking on Friday. So you want to keep that in mind. Everybody, you all are welcome. You all are welcome. I'll see you later. Talk soon. Oh, good. Yay, Roz, join the challenge. See y'all later. Bye.